How you doing? And welcome to Neither Real Music. I'm Ed. Today we're going to be looking at our second installment of Hey Joe by Jimi Hendrix. In our previous video, I was explaining how the chords were never played the same way twice. So we started out with a series of basic chords, open, and our chord structure was C, G, D, A, and E, all major chords. Then I talked about our first variation, which is based on a bar, and our second variation, which is based on a set of stairs. If you haven't seen the previous video on those chords, I highly recommend going back and checking that out. It'd be very important for you to understand those concepts. This way you understand what I mean by the cycle is never played the same way twice. For this video, we're going to be talking about embellishments and little things that you can add to the chords that sound like Jimi Hendrix. So the first embellishment we're going to talk about is an embellishment based off of our bar. Very important embellishment, very easy to do. Rather than talk about notes, I'm going to explain this in a pattern. So if you're barring your second, third, and fourth string, you're going to start on your fourth string with your first finger, and this is what the pattern looks like. 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 2, 1, 4. Now the nice thing about this pattern, it's recyclable. The reason I didn't explain it in tab is because it's the same pattern no matter where you go. So if I use it on our C chord here in 5th position, I could also do it on our G chord here in 12th. So let's start by showing you a basic pattern to use as an exercise. So that is our C to G pattern. Let's try that one more time. Now we're going to go to D, which is on our 7th fret. Next we will go to A in our 2nd position. Let's put those together. Now let's try putting C, G, D, and A together. Last would be our E all the way on our 9th fret. Okay. This pattern is just an example. My goal in teaching you the pattern is not to provide something for you to copy, but to provide you a set of colors that you can use to paint with. That's a good way to describe it. So when I play the C chord, I can throw in any one of these notes as a little idea. The only challenge to this is you have very limited time, as you only get 2 beats. When you're playing at 77 beats per minute, which is right around the speed of the song, you don't get a lot of time. So it's not like you could stay in this area and use every single aspect of it. You might only be able to go, and that's it. Then you have to move up to the G. Sometimes you just hit the chord and that's okay. Maybe you want to do something fancier. It's going to be up to you to determine how to put this pattern together. The one pattern you are going to get a lot of time for is the E. So I highly recommend using that elongated time to come up with unique ideas. They don't need to be extraordinary. They don't need to be fast. They don't need to be Yngwie Malmsteen. Sometimes just one note put in the right place sounds better than 100 notes in the wrong place. With our second pattern, we're going to be using the stairs shape. So if we come up to our 8th fret, we can do our C here, but as a set of stairs. So you can hear how it just sounds like a higher version of it. C, C, C. And notice I get to keep my thumb hooked over the top in Hendrix's classic format. So our pattern for this one, once again, starts on our lowest note, 4th string, but with our 3rd finger this time. And it's going to go 3, down a string, you're going to go 2, 3, down a string, you're going to go 1, 3, down a string again, you're going to go 1, 3. Okay? Just like the last pattern, these repeat themselves no matter where you go. So if I come back to 3rd position, and as with the last exercise, connecting them is going to be probably the most important thing that you can do. So if you want to follow along, you could do C to G. Again, C to G. Next would be D, which is on our 10th fret, to A on our 5th. Don't worry about playing as fast as I'm playing it. Just worry about learning the pattern. D, A. Now let's do C to G, D to A. Our last one is our E, done, in our 12th position. Once again, providing you with the most amount of time. As I was explaining with the bar version of this, these notes are meant to be played while everything is happening. You don't have a lot of time to play every single note that I have, so you're just going to have to pick a couple and work with it. In classic Hendrix style, if I put my thumb over the top, I can strum the whole and use my pinky to be the note that plays everything. So this way, as I'm traveling back and forth from chord to chord, I can play this C to this G to this D to this A to a low E, providing a nice unique pattern. It's going to be up to you to determine how this actually works. There's no wrong answer, and even if you play a wrong note, just bend it until it's right. So for argument's sake, if I play this C, sounds out of place, but if I go, suddenly it fits. We'll talk about how bends and slides and tapping and how all of that works in another video. But for now, if you like content like this, please subscribe. Ring the little bell. This way you know when the next lesson is coming up. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. I'm more than happy to try to answer whatever I can, as long as it's not too crazy. Good luck and good practice.